I yield myself such time as I may consume.
Gentleman's recognized.
Mr. Speaker, before I address the specifics of this bill, I want to address what we heard from the Speaker a few minutes ago. The Speaker said that Section 212F of the Immigration and Nationality Act cannot be used to, quote, shut down the border. Former President Trump agreed with him. He tried to do exactly what Speaker Johnson says in 2018. That action was immediately enjoined and declared unlawful. So you cannot use Section 212F of the INA to shut down the border. But the Speaker knows this. That's why he had the House pass H.R. 2. If 212F were sufficient, why did we need a bill? But the Republicans passed H.R. 2. But the Republicans should know that this is a bicameral institution, and there's also a president. H.R. 2 can go nowhere. The Senate won't even look at it. But we know that conservative Republicans in the Senate and Democrats in the Senate have been negotiating for a very, very strong, very powerful, very conservative immigration bill, which they've come up with. Much too conservative for many Democrats. I'm not sure I'm going to vote for it. Far more conservative than anything we've considered on the floor besides H.R. 2. And yet, the Speaker says he won't hear of it. Why? Because the former president says he wants the issue. He was very clear, as was Mr. Nels. Don't pass anything so that President Trump, former President Trump, can campaign on immigration in the fall. Don't solve the problem. Save the problem as a campaign issue. That's what they're doing. If they weren't doing that, they'd seriously consider the Senate bill. And what's even more pernicious is that they have joined together the close the border issue, which is a valid issue, but they've lumped it together with aid to Israel and aid to Ukraine. I was on the steps of the House with the Speaker and many others, touting our solidarity with Israel. And yet, what are we going to do? Because Trump and the Speaker, doing Trump's bidding, don't want us to pass an immigration bill, which they have tied up with aid to Israel and aid to Ukraine. We're not going to aid Israel. We're going to let Putin take over Ukraine. We're not going to send arms to Taiwan. We're not going to send humanitarian aid. We're going to abandon the Ukraine. We're going to abandon Israel. We're going to abandon Taiwan. We're going to abandon our Pacific allies. Why? Because President Trump wants a campaign issue on immigration. This is shameful. Shameful. And the Speaker knows it to be the case. And I challenge the Speaker. Bring the Senate bill to the floor. Let's see what happens. When the Senate passes a very conservative bill, which they seem on track to do, bring it to the floor of the House, and let's see what happens. I bet you it passes. But let's see what happens. Mr. Speaker, addressing this